everyone. I hope that everybody is warmed up. Okay, so I'm gonna continue in a good mood and ask everybody a friendly question. I want a show of hands. Who in here loves animals? Okay, that was actually way fewer hands than what I was expecting. But I must say anyway, that's amazing that there's such a question that can unify humanity as that one. Which is great, because that means that we're at the right place. At Vetnio, we're making the world a better place for all animals. Because thing is, veterinarians today are extremely overworked. That leads to bad decisions and lower quality care. And at the same time, pet ownership is on the rise, and people are willing to spend more money on their pets than ever before. Our mission at Vetnio is to give all people access to the quality care that their pet deserves. We're present in most countries of the world, and we have one of the most cracked teams in the world to build this together with us. Together, we went through Y Combinator earlier this year, and things have only accelerated since. All right, I want to do another show of hands, but this time it'll be way sadder than the last one. I want to ask if anybody in here had been forced to put down their own pet. Okay, I'm very sad to see that, but at the same time, fortunately, not so many people in here have been through that, because it's a very terrible thing to do. With that said, I would like to tell everybody in here a quick story. It's a story about a family from the south of Sweden. The family woke up one day on a very unseeming Sunday morning, and they saw that their dog, who used to have so much energy, barely had any left. They were, of course, deeply concerned by what they saw. So they promptly Googled for the closest veterinarian and brought their dog down there. They paid for a costly consultation, and the veterinarian, after a long time, concluded that the dog had a serious condition on his lymph nodes. And this meant two things. First, that the dog was under terrible pain. And secondly, that there was no obvious cure for this condition. A formal suggestion to put the dog down was made there and then. And of course, the family was utterly devastated to hear this. Luckily, they did not decide to do it there and then. Instead, they went home first to process what had just happened. And after a quick discussion, they decided that they want a second opinion. They Googled for a new veterinarian, and they decided to do the same examinations and the same tests over there as well. Because after all, what are the chances that two different veterinarians would make the same mistake? So once arriving to the second veterinarian, the same examinations and the same tests were made. But sadly, that veterinarian as well reached the same conclusion. They should put the dog down, they said. At this point, the family was at their wits' end, but they didn't give up. They want to give their dog a third and final chance. And this time, they found a new veterinarian who, unbeknownst to them, was using us, Vetnio. So when they arrived there, same examination, same tests, but this time, our AI was listening to everything that was happening in the examination room. And this time, it noticed something different. When the veterinarian took a closer look at what our AI was saying, she realized that all of these previous veterinarians had been completely wrong. The diagnosis was actually something that was not that serious. In fact, it was something that was treatable, but also more importantly, it was curable. When the family heard this, of course, they were so relieved. It was like 1,000 pounds had just lifted from their chests. But they were equally appalled at how wrong it could have gone. What ended up happening is that the dog received the correct treatment and managed to get a full recovery. The family, they went back to all these previous veterinarians and managed to get most of their money back. So this particular story luckily has a happy ending. But we know for a fact that for far too many families out there, the same thing cannot be said. So, we didn't build our AI in a vacuum. We actually teamed up and hired some of the top experts in our field. And together with them, we built this AI. And our AI has scored the top grades on every test that we managed to throw at it, with distinction. There is an uncomfortable truth that nobody's talking about. And that is that veterinarians aren't missing things because they're not brilliant. They are among the most brilliant people I've ever met. Veterinarians are missing things because their workload is just too high. Currently, the admin work is suffocating. And this applies to every kind of veterinarian, both for them in the examination room, but also for them that are on the road. The whole ecosystem is stretched too thin. And that is why we are being used in clinics all over the world, from Chile to Vietnam, from Finland to Spain. The data that we're collecting is a first of its kind. Never ever before have anybody collected real, raw voice data directly from the examination room. And this data that we collect will become a flywheel, where the more data we get, the more clinics will adopt us. And the more clinics that adopt us, the further ahead we get. So what you're hearing right now is not only a new standard of care, but also a new standard of support, where years in the future, it will seem unreasonable, unsafe, even unprofessional to not have AI with you in the examination room. We're not saying that AI will replace veterinarians, but veterinarians who use AI will for sure save far more lives than veterinarians who don't. And that is a future that Vetnio is building. Thank you very much for listening.